Okay, sorry about that. I had to, like, restart my recording there. Just because of, yeah, okay, sorry about that, guys. I had to restart my recording there just because I had, like, some issues with my recording. So, we'll go ahead and, like, we'll, like, explain and, like, go through how these teams work again, because that first part I may not be able to upload to YouTube. So, we'll just go ahead, we'll re-break down the teams real quick as we're, like, using them. So that way when I upload this version here to YouTube, like, the steps will be, like, clear and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know what happened with OBS there, but it didn't end the stream or anything like that. It just, like, I don't know when my recording messed up, but I saw, like, my recording, like, had, like, cut off or paused or something. So I don't know when it did, so we'll just break down the teams again now. So this one's the easy one. It's the first fight that you run into. Everybody gets the cooldowns. No, I didn't make any changes to this one. So I did have to change my team versus Saturn just because of that debuff that looked like the it had the same icon as the reduced damage from certain slots. It didn't work that way, and even though we were able to clear it, we wouldn't have been able to clear it past like stage 10, so we just went ahead and swapped it. So this one, Lin and Kaido clear pretty much everything. Even though Kaido has super type, run Lin as your captain for as long as you can, just because she gives you more points, so it'll be easier to find like other Lins. And you see, even without like matching slots like right now, like we're just doing like bukus of damage. Because even though like Lin and Kaido are enough, Stussy and Blackbeard just throw on some like extra buffs for us. Because you got attack or color affinity from Lin and Kaido, in addition to like the removal of like the gimmicks and being able to get past the barrier, stuff like that. But Blackbeard gives us chain boundary for extra damage that gets higher, and Stussy gives us a conditional buff, and she just removes the barrier anyway, so you can tap with whoever and save Kaido for last. So this stage, versus Bluegrass, we did have to do some changes because of the changes we made to Saturn. We took off Nami, Karina, and Izo and Okiku. They were only here for like points anyway, so we just replaced them with Atlas, since we took her off the other team, and the Summer Hancock down here, just because they're both cerebral and the points. There's no like real reason for them. They do give you like some extra damage and stuff once you get here, but there's not any particular reason why I picked them over others, other than the fact they were cerebral and they were treasure map. Well, one's a treasure map legend, and Hancock had the same amount of points as other TM legends, so I just threw her on there since she was cerebral. So once we get here, we can just go ahead and like clear the stage. For those of y'all who don't know the reason why my slots are locked for 10 turns, that's an effect in Hina's captain ability. So she'll lock your slots for 10 turns at the start of the quest. Which actually makes it easy to get like recovery slots for Hancock's like special and stuff like that. Not that it matters for here. So then you're going to go ahead and super swap Wanda Carrot, activate their special. Now you have an attack and orb buff. That'll give us access to Hina's super type. We can go ahead and trigger her super type. And go from there. So from here, if you want to do more damage when it gets to a higher stage, I will say remember that the reason why we have Eva here, I'll show like why, because he was the other character that was crucial to this. So if you just want some extra damage like as it gets higher, if you use Atlas here, she'll buff the attack buff and decrease the orb buff to allow you to double stack it, and then you can launch Hina after Atlas, and you can have like double stacking orb buffs that way, so that's pretty cool. Use Eva last, because by using Eva, he's going to go ahead and like give you the tandem slots, which you'll need for the barrier. And the reason why I picked Hancock also is because she also had bypass like barriers. It might not work because I think you have to be over 50% health. Does she heal? She does. Okay, yeah. So she's going to bypass the barrier here. So that way you can tap with her, and then like if it didn't KO Carrot Wanda to bypass that barrier and like still get rid of it since you're hitting the tandem slots. So. Same reason why we put Izo no Kiku there was because of the bypass barrier, so we could remove it while doing damage. So this one's another easy one. The recommended characters, Kizaru and Sentamaru, just totally just clear this, like, easy. So we'll just go ahead and, like, knock this out. Again, like I said, to get Sentamaru's, like, getting back, removal of blowaway, that's what it is. You have to have 2 Navy characters. He doesn't count as a Navy character, he only counts as Egghead. For whatever reason, he doesn't count as Navy. So what you can do is, that's why I have Green Bull on here mainly, is so that I have 2 characters out here with a Navy tag after the blowaway, because I don't know if the tag would still count after blowaway. That's something like I wasn't sure of. So that way there's still the 2 required characters there to bring back our other captain. And the other characters are just here just for some extra damage. Like Frankie's going to give us this attack buff with the Soba-Mask support, as well as some resistance downs. Usopp here is going to give us the target mark status, which, as y'all know, is broken. And we get the full board matching with Ryokuyu, as well as the orb buff and the increased damage from our Dex orbs to make them like Wano orbs. And you can just easily clear here. Now the next one is a team, like I said, I'm super proud of this team. Because they really wanted you to build around having the new, like, Brook. And I set up this team so that if you can't find a Brook friend captain or don't have your own, this works with 2 Kizarus. So I'm going to show y'all how to do that. So I'll take this Kizaru here. If you have Brook, or if you find a Brook friend captain, you don't even need to worry. Like, it's a super easy fight then that way. But if you can't find any Brook friend captains, this team works perfectly. So first things first, get to stage 2, and then once you're on stage 2, here's where like the magic of this team that setup works. Use Hiyori first. You have to use these specials in this specific order. So use Hiyori first, because she has a heal and you don't want the heal. So since your health's already full, the heal doesn't matter. This is what you want as the HP cut from the Momo Kinemon Denjiro support. It cuts your health by 50%, and it changes adjacent slots to Wano. So that's just pretty cool, a little extra bonus there. So now you're going to be under that 60% threshold. Go ahead and use Frankie. He's going to give you a 3-turn color affinity buff. And then you want to go ahead and use Zoro, because he's going to give you a 3-turn orb buff. So as you see, then we carried those into here since we're below the 60%. Only the crewmates got silenced, and then Sanji support removes 1 turn defense up. The Roger Odin support on Fujitora gives us an attack buff for our slashers. And then once we use Kizaru here, he's going to remove resilience, as well as the Kuzan support is going to remove 2 turns of defense up. And for that final turn of defense up, we have Tashigi support on Zoro. And as long as we hit a perfect with Zoro, he'll go, or as long as we hit a perfect with Zoro, it will go ahead and remove that turn, one turn of defense up. So there we go. There went that last turn defense up, and you saw easily KO'd Lucci. So if you have Brook, the team's even easier, because then like you just use Brook on the final stage. He cuts your health by having him as captain anyway, so you'll get there with that threshold. You use him on the final stage, and he just removes the silence, and then you can pop all your specials then on the final stage. You don't need to use them earlier and stuff like that. But that's just showing y'all how to make the team work if you can't find any Brook friend captains. And again, Brook and Kizaru, they do have the same amount of points, so there's not really a benefit in using one over the other, so to speak. Like you saw, we easily cleared it like that. There's not a benefit points-wise. Obviously, there's a convenience if you can find a Brook. So here's the change we made to this team. We did replace Atlas and Carrot with Nami, Karina, and Izo and Okiku. And we have some key supports on here. So you need at least one support to remove one turn of threshold on the final turn. So that's important. That is absolutely needed. A bonus is that with these two supports, the Brook one, we're going to get a defense down conditional buff, because we're going to get double stacking conditional buffs with Hancock. And with Zoro here, it's going to reduce the enemy's defense by 80%, and he's only immune to delay, so we will be able to inflict that defense down on him. So if we go ahead and start, we can show y'all how this team works against Saturn. And there was no change to the intrusion team. Hopefully, like, we'll get to use that on the next stage. Again, super sorry about the recording getting messed up for the people viewing on YouTube who don't catch like the stream and stuff like that. I'm sorry about that, guys. So if we go ahead and clear this stage. Alright, once we get here to Saturn, all you want to use here is the friend captain Luffy. And with Luffy, remember to use his EX after his special, because his EX increases your chain boundary. So that way you just get like some free more damage there. So we can go ahead and easily clear this. Now, once you're on the final stage, you do want to use your specials in a specific order. And this is the order that you want to use them in. I think would be like the most like beneficial. So you want to super swap into Karina first, then use her special first. So using Karina's, you're going to go ahead and remove 6 turns at threshold and go ahead and put the defense down on him. The orb doesn't matter, because I'm pretty sure that orb buff might be replaced. It might be overwritten. I'm not 100%. We'll see. But you want to get the threshold on our side too, because he does do damage when you inflict him with damage. So there he removes his barrier and that little like normal attacks. You only deal 99 or 1% of your damage. And then you want to use them before Bonnie because he inflicts attack down. So Bonnie removes the poison, attack down, and is going to give us color affinity. And with the support of Kobe, she's going to go ahead and remove that final turn of threshold. So bam, now threshold's gone. So now that we did that, now we want to go ahead and do Hancock's super type first. So that way we can get the plus buff here. So we can buff our conditional buffs. And we activate Hancock. Now we have the ability for double stacking conditional buffs. It buffs the first one. And when we activate Luffy here, we'll get the attack buff. And once the support triggers, bam, perfect. There is our double stacking attack buff. and it's buffed from having the plus from Hancock. And I was wrong, the orb buff isn't overwritten, and it's buffed twice from Luffy, so it goes to a 3.24. And what was that we have? A 3.3. Awesome. So now we can go ahead and like KO. Obviously, you probably save Bonnie for last, since she's the only one with like color affinity. And easy damage. And because we have Rainbow Shield and Threshold, like, we took nothing from Saturn, so super, super, super easy. Very cool that we were able to make use of that double stacking conditional buff. It's funny, this treasure map and last treasure map for both the final boss fight and the intrusion boss fight, we were able to make use of Hancock's double stacking conditional buff by the one she triggers the paralysis. But it's funny, in this treasure map and the last treasure map both, we got the second conditional buff from supports because of her like requiring to use like straw hats and stuff like that. And there is like various different straw hats you can equip to other straw hats, as you saw, as supports that will give you defense down and defense down conditional buffs. So that's really, really, really cool. Now, if you're able to, since Izo and Okiku are only there because they deal damage in their special and are a Land of Wano or Egghead character, that's what's important. Since they were a TM legend, you know, they had good points, they were quick, so they were buffed by both captains. But most importantly, they were Land of Wano and dealt damage. Let's just discard one of these. I'd rather have like some different numbers. So since they're Land of Wano and deal damage, that makes it so that we have enough required character tags for Luffy to have all of his abilities. Oops, I almost took the wrong person here. So if you replace Izo and Okiku, you could actually replace them with any other like Land of Wano or Egghead character that's one of these here, and you could actually get this conditional buff, and this goes through immunity and stuff like that. You would get a delay and delay conditional buff from Hot Spring Luffy's super type. So that's a possibility too, because you already have one straw hat with Nami, so if you just have another one, or Otama, Yamato, whatever, you could get that instead. Just as long as they have one of those two tags and deal damage. Then you wouldn't need those supports, is what I'm trying to say. And it's just clutch also, by the way. What makes Dogstorm and Cat Viper so good in this fight is that they are a Land of Wano character. So that's what makes them, like, again, another thing that makes them just so perfect for this fight versus Kizaru. Yeah, this is the right team. So we'll go ahead and we'll showcase this one now, since I had to like restart the recording there. So in using this team, go ahead and easily clear the first stage. And once we get to the second stage, you'll see like why we have the team set up the way they are. And you'll see just how great Dogstorm and Cat Viper are. So the support we have on Jinbei is going to go ahead and remove one turn of paralysis. The ship removes a second turn of paralysis. And when we super switch here, it'll give us a full board of matching slots. It'll go ahead and remove 4 turns of paralysis. And it gives us an orb buff. When we trigger Jinbei's special with an orb buff, he removes 6 turns of despair. And then once we activate Dogstorm and Cat Viper, we'll go ahead and get an attack and color affinity, at which Luffy buffs both of them with his captain ability. So we'll go ahead and like hit perfect here. And after we do that, specials get rewound, but it doesn't matter because Luffy, since he's the captain, takes care of that for us. So once we get to the final stage here versus Kizaru, we have the orb buff that we got from the previous stage, since we had the 2 perfects, and the attack buff from our support. We'll go ahead and trigger Luffy's special. So now we have the chain boundary. Once we do his EX, we'll buff that chain boundary and get the weakness buff there, or increase like damage against like weakness type. So use Hancock's super type first to get the plus buff for our conditional buffs. So triggering one of her specials will go ahead and give us the conditional buff, and that increased damage to the final tab. Once we use Luffy here, since we're using the Luffy that's a crewmate, Hancock will get her special back. The support gives us a second conditional buff for defense down. Once you use Hancock again, it's going to buff this now to 60% for the final tap. And it'll also remove the final turns of the defense up. But using Sanji now, we'll go ahead and remove the barrier and 1 turn of damage nullification. Use him a second time to remove damage nullification. And the Onami support is on Sanji to go ahead and inflict defense down on the enemy. So it'll set his defense to 0, and that'll let us get the full benefits of having the second conditional buff. And then we can just go ahead and easily, easily KO. So all in all, like, super strong teams. I'm not worried about the damage for like any of them. I think like I think they're all set up like perfectly and stuff like that. What time is it right now? Just checking. Yeah, so we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we're a ways away from that. While we're still streaming and stuff, we'll suspend this real quick. And we'll just go and we'll just do like our daily quest while I wait for it to come back. I might just stop my recording here, and we'll just keep streaming though, just so like I can have the recording here for just people wanting to see how the teams work and stuff like that, and make it easier for them maybe. I don't know. I kind of just want to like chat and hang out. Yeah, we'll just do the gameplay one, because we already had the recording mess up, like, we can just... Before, we had to do the smaller recording. Well, you know what, to make it easier for people, what I'm going to do is, I will stop the recording here for the YouTube people. I know usually I upload the whole full stream. We're going to keep streaming though, guys, on like Twitch, so don't worry about it. But I am just going to stop the recording here for the people on YouTube. And then tomorrow, hopefully we won't have like any recording issues. Tomorrow we'll upload the whole stream afterwards, so because I don't want to like mess up again. So we'll just go ahead and stop it here. I hope these teams helped you guys out with the treasure map. Like I said, we had to make the small change to the Saturn team, but we got it done like super easy. So I will see y'all hopefully tomorrow for the day 2 treasure map stream. And yeah, we'll try and get that fully uploaded for you guys tomorrow following that stream. So I'll go ahead and stop this here. I will catch y'all then. Let me just